guys, welcome to our 2018 favorites video. Today is January 1st, 2019, and so we thought we would spend the day reflecting on our favorite things of 2018. Right now we are at Mission Santa Barbara?
Mission Santa Barbara.
And shortly after we leave here, we are going to head up the coast of California towards home, and then we'll get home tomorrow. So as we go, we thought we would take you guys along and discuss our favorites over the past year. So I'm gonna say the topic, and then the category, and then Matt's gonna say his favorite thing, and then I'll share my favorite thing in that category. Category number 1 is your favorite day of 2018.
So it would probably be the day when I was the blushing groom. It was probably our wedding day at Pinnacles.
Yeah, I probably there were some pretty good days, but I think that one takes the cake. It was beautiful weather, and people were on their best behavior. It just went really well.
We were surrounded by friends and family. It was good.
It was exactly what we had hoped and wanted out of a campground wedding. Also, I know people have been asking me about our wedding video. It is coming, and I think I'm actually going to wait till the week of Valentine's Day because that's peak programming.
And you've already made them wait so long.
Yeah, so what's waiting another couple months? So we will see you guys at our next stop with our next favorite. We are still in Santa Barbara having lunch now, and we thought it was the perfect opportunity to talk about our favorite foods of 2018.
So for me, it's been the year of soups. I had a butternut squash with pepito soup that was really fantastic, and a tomato bisque soup that was really good.
My favorite food was probably when we went to Boston, and I had swordfish for the first time. I have been trying to get more into fish in the last 2 years? Year and a half, 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah. And so I tried swordfish and I really enjoyed it when we were in Boston.
I wanna rest and lay in your side.
Our next category is our favorite campground. We are actually packing up to leave this campground, which
It's
is
not
not
so
our favorite.
much of a campground.
Yeah, it is a fairgrounds, and I actually have been planning on making a video sometime in the next couple months about why we like staying at fairgrounds, even though they are not.
They're not campgrounds. And they're not resorts.
No, they're not. But there is a video coming about why we like to stay at them in the future. But it does not make our favorite campground. What is your favorite campground of 2018?
I have 2.
Okay.
I have one that is not campground traditional, which is the Anaheim RV Resort.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, I guess you'd say it's pricey as far as national average campgrounds go, in that I think it was about $90 a night, roughly, but it really allowed us to go to Disneyland when it would have been hard to pull that off finances-wise otherwise.
Yeah,
Michelle got a pretty awesome 30th birthday trip. I believe there's a video on that.
I think so, and there definitely is a review of that campground that I will link up there somewhere.
Yeah, she'll make the magic happen. So that's my number 1. It's very much a parking lot. It's a very well-groomed parking lot, well manicured. It's incredibly close to Disneyland. I mean, we rode our bikes, I think, every time that we went back and forth from the park. Just
I think
about.
we might have taken an Uber.
We might have taken an Uber once
the end,
because we were really tired of biking.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been a day when it rained a little bit. So anyway, It's incredibly convenient to Disneyland. It's closer than a lot of their parking lots. So that was my number 1. My number 2.
Can I share mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Just in case it's your number 2.
Go for it.
Okay, mine I think is cheating because it's not an RV campground. Well, there's an RV spots, but my favorite campground was probably Pinnacles National Park Campground, just because we had our wedding in the campground and it was beautiful. We had our wedding in the group site, which no RVs can go to, but there is an RV section very close. We kept our RV there when we were there for the long weekend for our wedding, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think we've done a video on Pinnacles Campground specifically. There are a lot of perks to it. It's in a very untraveled area of California. It's not even the most popular Pinnacles entrance, I don't think. But there are really practically 2 visitor centers on the side that the campground is on.
Yeah.
If you're planning to go to Pinnacles, I would recommend camping there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a really good campground. You see a lot of the really cool side of Pinnacles, although we haven't seen the other side, so I guess we're biased.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we were sitting in the campground with some of our family members who are older and have some disabilities, and so they were not going to go on hikes, and they got to see condors sitting right in the campground.
Yeah,
which is
they were
pretty
just
awesome.
flying around right over the campground. It was incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So my second campground favorite is Sonoma Dunes, I think it was called.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, it's on the California coast, north of San Francisco, north by a good ways. And it was where we went Father's Day camping with Michelle's parents.
Yeah, that's another pretty basic. Like, all of our favorites have been. Well, we didn't do any resort camping this year, but
No, not really.
those are very basic but very nice campsites. And
Yeah.
campgrounds.
Yeah, but it's woodsy, it's beachy, it's right near the beach, it's right near the woods. It's got the very California coast redwoods kind of feel to it.
Yeah, and it's really casual.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we could have the RVs right there, and it was nice for tents. Sometimes tents aren't allowed, or tents are allowed, but it's just not a nice tent camping area.
Yeah.
And it was, and the rest of my family has tent campers, so they could tent camp, which
Yep.
I liked.
Yeah, it was good.
California in my mind. There is no one.
We are just past Pismo Beach, heading up one towards home, and we thought we'd stop and do another 2 favorites from 2018. The first is our favorite place that we visited. What was yours?
Disneyland.
Mine too. It was Disneyland.
I hadn't been since I was 15 years old, and I hate to say how many years that's been, but it's been a long time. And I had a really great time.
Yeah, we had a really good time at Disneyland. It was so fun, and I like how we split it up between other stuff.
Yeah, we did some other things while we were in the area. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next favorite for our favorites of 2018 list was our favorite national park that we visited.
Mine was Crater Lake. I was blown away by how gorgeous Crater Lake was. It was really cool. It was interesting as far as the geeky science stuff. It was gorgeous. It was a beautiful area. It was a lot of fun.
Also, we got really lucky because there's all the fires in the area.
Yes.
And then it kind of cleared out.
They had just cleared out like a day or 2 before we arrived.
Yeah, so it was really blue. We got to see a lot of the water, which I guess it had been so bad some people hadn't seen the water from the...
Yeah, you just couldn't see the
Yeah.
water with all the smoke in front of you.
Yeah. My favorite national park was probably Saugus Ironworks. We were just there for a couple of hours one morning when we were on our trip to Boston, but it was such a peaceful, beautiful place. I liked the history, and the buildings were really cool looking, and it was just a really nice, peaceful place to visit. I really enjoyed Saugus.
I was surprised that was Michelle's pick.
It was really beautiful.
Your kind. I long to see you when the day is done. Though my journey has just begun. We should have lived a life together in your warm sun.
Quick stop in Cambria for gas, and our next favorite of 2018, our favorite experience.
So I think mine was the Soaring Around the World ride, and I had a coworker, Ben, who retired recently, and he told me how great soaring over California was, and I had never got a chance to see it because, like I said, it had been a long time since I've been. By the way, Soaring Around the World is a ride in California Adventure across from Disneyland. It was amazing. It was really, really amazing.
My favorite experience was probably the night after the wedding when we saw the Tesla, whatever it was,
Model
launch.
3?
Yeah.
Oh no, the Falcon Heavy launch. the SpaceX Falcon Heavy launch was incredible.
That was crazy. We happened to be in Pinnacles, which is a dark sky park, and so we saw it. We thought we were getting like abducted by aliens or something, or like Russia was bombing us or something. We didn't really know.
But the exhaust from the rocket made this like chromatic light show in the sky. It was crazy. It was amazing.
It was really cool. So that was probably my favorite experience.
Very good.
We should have loved each other, baby. Oh, what could I have done? Just wanna spend some time together before everything's gone. It's in the air, can't you feel that good times are coming on? California, here I come. Every heartbeat just like a drum.
This is day 2 of our trip home. We ended up calling it quits last night. It was dark and the road was windy and we were just kind of tired. So we found a campsite, stayed there, and we are back on the road again this morning, and we are ready to talk about our next favorite of 2018, our favorite magnet that we picked up. We have been collecting magnets ever since we got, actually ever since we started road tripping, even before we got the RV, ever since we started road tripping together. We have been collecting magnets, so it's been like a little over a year and a half, and so this favorite is our favorite magnet that we got on a trip this past year. What is yours?
We got, I hate to keep coming back to Pinnacles, but we got a Pinnacles, it's a laser etched wood magnet, and it is in the shape of the old window stickers that you used to get that showed that you had paid your entry to the national park. They were like national park passes. They were hexagons that had the name of the park, and I like it. It's kind of reminiscent of an older time when people used to visit national parks, and also it reminds me of Pinnacles, which I had a lot of good memories about.
My favorite magnet was, we got it in Crater Lake, and it wasn't a cool shape, it was just a rectangle, but it's really cool. It also has a vintage feel to it. It is of a bicyclist riding around the rim of Crater Lake, which I really liked. That was cool.
That was my number 2.
Hear your rhythm, you feel so near. Oh, California, all senses clear. I'll be alright.
We have made it home. We have a couple more favorites to share from 2018. The next favorite is the favorite toy or item thing that we played with this year. What was yours?
Mine was a Pedego electric bicycle that I got last Christmas, basically. And I got to use it a few times in the spring, basically. And then I rode my bike on Bike to Work Day, and on my way home from Bike to Work Day, my pedals actually broke. And it kind of sat dormant, and I kept meaning to take it into Pedego, and then the Pedego location that I bought the bike from originally closed down, and I realized that I was either going to have to go to the close location that I didn't buy it from, or a really far away location. And long story short, Michelle, as one of her gifts to me, got my bike fixed under warranty
For Christmas,
for Christmas.
So now you can use it again for 2019.
Yes.
My favorite was also a gift that Matt gave me, and it is the tripod we are currently using that I got for my birthday. I've had a lot of fun with it this year. And then our last favorite for 2018, our favorite thing that we learned. What was your favorite thing that you learned about?
Earlier this year, Michelle started reading about condors and got really into it, and we ended up going to Pinnacles as a result of it. And as you guys have heard, we got married at Pinnacles, and I kind of the responsibility for that kind of started with the condors, because really we wanted to go to Pinnacles because it was condor site. Condors are amazing. There's lots of really cool, amazing things about them. You should go learn about them. That's not this sort of video channel, but they're really amazing creatures, and I wouldn't have known that except for Michelle.
That's a good one. I didn't think of that. My favorite thing that we learned about was Boston. Like all of the U.S. history stuff. I've always been into U.S. history. And so we went for our honeymoon to Boston and we learned a lot. I really enjoyed the Freedom Trail and just all the cool stuff that we saw. And so Boston, all of the stuff there having to do with U.S. history was probably my favorite thing that we learned about, although Condors is pretty close. So those are our 2018 favorites. Let us know down in the comments if you have any favorite things that you did this past year, any adventures or things that you learned, or any recommendations for things that we should explore in 2019. We have some cool trips on the books. I'm hoping to have a video up pretty soon of our 2019 goals. So stay tuned for that. Push the subscribe button if you want to make sure you don't miss any future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And we will see you guys next time. Bye!
Happy New Year.